there. You can see DJ starts to close that distance, but boom, it was that right uppercut that touched DJ. DJ goes down, and it's this knee. Bingo, right there.
These smaller movements.
Oh, big right, DJ is stunned. Big knee. That's it.
When I think of a historic event that's repeated itself, I think there's an actual word for it, historic recurrence or something. But I never liked that word. I always felt something with maybe coincidence or the luck. I don't know. Something about coincidence just doesn't encapsulate the oddity we're witnessing. I don't know. The word that hits me is serendipitous. And in UFC, many moments are what I would feel serendipitous, even if the word isn't correct. You see, Demetrious Johnson, a former UFC champ, considered to be one of the greatest, went into his fight in another promotion wanting revenge. And he got that with a flying knee, or somewhat flying knee, a knee, to a guy who kneed him in his debut to this new fight promotion that he's in. Now, that's not that crazy. Most fighters usually get destroyed by a knee because it hurts like hell. But it's funny, of all the ways you could finish someone, all the ways you can beat someone, you beat the person the same way, the way they beat you. And watching Demetrious Johnson talk about it, he says, you got this set up and you saw it. That's what he talked about in an interview with Henry Cejudo. So why not take it? Why not make the moment serendipitous of sorts? And when I think about UFC, when I think about MMA in general, I think of all these moments that just are so serendipitous. And Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva, a fight many are bamboozled by. They thought Anderson Silva was going to beat this guy, Chris Weidman. Oh, Chris is good, but he ain't no Silva. And to be fair, a lot of people were right. Chris Weidman beat him sort of by luck. Anderson Silva put his hands down and was not trying to fight. And you saw basically Chris win because he put his hands down. Or Anderson Silva put his hands down. So what is that? It's not until the second fight Silva gets his chance to redeem himself. Chris Weidman then fights, goes at it. Silva breaks his leg. Iconic. Everyone saw it. Everyone was going crazy. Years later, Chris Weidman, fighting Uriah Hall, breaks his leg the same way. The serendipity of UFC, of MMA, is so funny. The more you watch it, the more you see it. There's a top 10 list somewhere of all these crazy chances that occur in the UFC. So yeah, it's just interesting and it's funny. And I'm sure you can find that within every sport. I'm sure there's a quarterback out there who saved the day because of a Hail Mary, and then 20 years later, that team he did it to did the same thing to them. You know, it's just sports. The crazy coincidence of sports are nevertheless iconic, but expected. Because there's only a few outcomes. When a guy is fighting another guy, one guy's going to win, one guy's not. So the ways that this person could win, this way this person could lose, it's not that far-fetched to see it happening again. But it is funny when it happens very specifically and very coincidentally. I love DJ. He's one of my favorite fighters. Mighty Mouse is the man. Seeing him do this was so great. I don't know if serendipitous is the right word still. I don't know if it's just me liking the way it sounds. But it was a good weekend for MMA. And it was cool to see that for DJ. I'm sad to see that for his opponent. But, hey, it always happens. You're never the next guy without being the next guy. So, we'll see what happens with DJ. I know many people were debating, too, of why he even needed to be traded. They thought he would have really shucken up the divisions that are now pretty exciting. Flyweight is definitely deserving of a DJ. But I think given the trajectory that came with having Ben Askren come in, it was expected. You can't have a DJ forever. And I think many know that. So with DJ being gone, it's definitely unfortunate, and I would love to see him fight, but you wouldn't get moments like these. So yeah, that's basically it. There wasn't much fights. I know there was probably a few fights on that same card that DJ was on, but I don't really know too much about, ONE FC, or, I barely remember Pride. So I've always been a UFC kind of guy. But it was cool. It was cool to see. It was crazy to think about. I don't understand it still, how this all happens. And then there's a plethora of moments like that. I think McGregor breaking his leg right after he said that if you break your leg, it's a doctor. Like, he's like, I think he was like, what did he say? Oh, I don't count wins that are not like submissions or like if an actual losses. He's like, if you choke me out, that's not a real win or something like that. So for him to break his leg was like the UFC gods punishing him. I remember him just dismissing his one of his losses where he wasn't like knocked out. Oh yeah, he doesn't count knockouts. So for his leg to break, it was like, yeah, you're still out, G. You're not coming back, but you're still awake, so it's a loss. You know what I mean? Like it was just like perfect wording for him. Unfortunate wording for him. Sorry, I'm also watching this game as I'm playing it, so. I think another coincidence that just hit me right now as I was thinking about it. When you had Charles Oliveira go against every person in his champion run, everyone doubted him. Everybody shot him down. And he's won the same way. I don't think it's as serendipitous and coincidental as the other ones. I mean, he's a jiu-jitsu pro. He has the most submissions ever of all time. But it is funny that people still count him out. Like, you think at this point we would understand. But I guess that's the serendipity of the sport, is that you should not count him out. Yet people still do. And when he gets his, win, it's really nice. It feels good to know that he's proven people wrong. It's less so than the other examples I had, but still fun nonetheless. And this is why I love UFC. I am excited for the cards upcoming, and we'll definitely have more moments of serendipity. I think even Kamaru Usman lost, and I haven't even talked about that as much. I mean, I talked about it in that one video before it, but to see him win like that is just funny. It's just hilarious. Or Leon to win like that is hilarious. To beat the guy who's never been knocked out, to beat the guy who's never been taken down, it's impressive nonetheless. And that's why I love this sport. I'm kind of ranting at this point. I mainly had just those two crazy moments in my head. And I know there's more coincidences to think about. But for the meantime, I can't really think of much. So I think I'm just going to let the gameplay play and, probably play some clips of DJ killing some people. So thank you all very much. And gabagoo.
Eliminate the objective. Enemy RCXD detected. We got the bomb. Bomb planted. Hold your positions. They're on their last legs. Exemplary work, MI6. Just what the doctor ordered. Switching sides. Defend the objectives. Charges set. Enemy cruise missile launch detected. Survivors, report to your nearest Casevac site.
Got the ground. We'll regroup.